About to order takeout after a long day? Put down that delivery app. Today I'm showing you how to make this spicy queen chickpea power bowl that's ready in just 20 minutes. Faster than delivery, doctor approved, and infinitely healthier, and honestly, way more delicious. This is plant-based eating for real adults with real appetites. So everybody knows the drill with my recipes. I always have something that goes in a blender for the sauce, but I promise you this will be really quick. Let's start off with some silken tofu. So I've got 1 pack of silken tofu here. And before I lose you, because I'm adding tofu again, if you have a soya allergy or just don't like tofu, then you can actually use some pea milk, which is equivalent in protein. If you can't find pea milk, just add more nutritional yeast. That will add more protein to this dish. You can actually add any plant-based milk that you like and add some lemon juice that's extra that will be going in. Okay, so we're going to put that in. How can I do it without getting it everywhere? We'll bash it with a spoon, don't worry. So we're going to be using a Korean chili paste in this recipe called gochujang. It's fermented, so it's really good for the gut, and it has this subtle heat at the end. But I'm going to add in 1.5 tablespoons. In the original recipe I used 2, but that might be a bit too much for some people, but add more if you like. So that's the gochujang there. And you can buy it from any South Asian grocery store. As well as being good for the gut, capsaicin in chili actually is really good for metabolism. Right, I'll add in more later. Then I'm going to add some miso paste. So again, miso paste is fermented as well, which is really good for the gut. Because it's quite salty, we won't need to add salt to this recipe. We add that in. We've got some nutritional yeast, which adds extra protein and a good umami hit, just in case you don't know what nutritional yeast looks like. And then I've got some maple syrup here. This is optional. Then we're going to add some lemon juice and then 4 cloves of garlic. It won't seem like a lot because I add so much garlic to my recipes, but trust me, because of the fermented gochujang, this is going to taste garlicky. Obviously add asafoetida if you are garlic free, and we'll just blend that now. If it's on. You smell the fermentedness of it. Fermentedness. Let me show you. Alright, so let's get going with the main dish. So I've got a pan on high heat at the moment. I'm going to put some sesame oil in. Again, if you're oil free, you don't have to add this bit. So I've got some sesame oil here for flavour. Put 1 teaspoon in. You can smell that toasting now. I'm going to add the whites of some spring onions here. Now, whites of spring onions are really good if you've got IBS. They don't evoke the same reaction as if you were adding normal onions. And we'll use the greens for garnish later. And we'll literally just cook that for a minute. If this starts sticking, then you can add a little bit of water. I wanted to get one of those Our Place pans like the influencers use, but I didn't get one on time, so I'm using a normal pan. We'll display this nicely. My mum doesn't like people actually getting a piece of bread and then putting it inside when they've got to share it with everybody. We have a word in Gujarati called lagro, which means, don't know what it means, I think dirty or something like that. Sorry, influencers. Right, so that's done. We're going to just use that same spoon that we used before. Waste not, want not. So we're just going to add our paste in now to let that cook off the rawness of the garlic. Trying not to get my shirt dirty. I think I should have worn my apron. I'm trying to concentrate, sorry. If I make weird faces, that's why. We can add more water to this jug later, so we get all the paste in. And just cook that off. You can see it's bubbling now. I'm gonna, got a visitor that I'm batting off. Now that's been cooking for a minute, we're gonna add some boiled beans in. This is a really great company because they really cook their beans well. So you don't have to put them in the microwave or cook it for ages on the stove. Obviously they're quite dear, so use any variety that you want. But queen chickpeas are amazing because they're massive. They're a really great source of iron as well as folate, for example. If I can open it, there we go, give it some welly. Right, we're going to add in the water of the chickpeas as well, which is called aquafaba. It has such great uses. You can actually use it to make meringue, for example. But if you have IBS, you can just drain the chickpeas and add more water later. Okay, so we'll add that in slowly. Try not to get it on my shirt. Then we're going to add some diced red pepper. If you want a nice bolder red color, then just add some more gochujang. Shall I add some more? Literally, this will take 5 minutes and then we can get on with our broccoli. And serve this over rice. You can have it with noodles, whatever you prefer. And as you can see, that's done now. It's lovely and creamy. Literally in less time than it takes to make a takeaway. And just for video purposes, I'm doing the broccoli separately, but at the same time, if you get the broccoli ready, this will be done in a jiffy. It might actually be done in about 15 minutes, not 20. So let me show you the broccoli now. Let's put this aside without burning myself. There we go. You can tell I haven't been to the gym lately. Only joking. So I've got a So I've got a parchment lined baking tray here, and we're going to put our broccoli in. I've got one broccoli head which I've cut up nicely. Don't throw away the stalk. You can use it in soups, for example. You can make chips out of it as well. So let's put that in. So a fun fact about broccoli is that it contains an enzyme called myrosinase, and myrosinase is responsible for creating a chemical called sulforaphane. That chemical has anti-inflammatory properties, and if you leave broccoli cut for about 40 minutes, that makes sure that myrosinase does its job properly. If you cook the broccoli too early, then what can happen is that the myrosinase is denatured. But a way of adding more sulforaphane back to the cooked broccoli is by adding mustard to your broccoli. Obviously today I've got enough heat from the gochujang, so I'm not going to add mustard, but you can do that if you like. So to the broccoli, I'm going to be adding some togarashi seasoning. I probably pronounced everything incorrectly today, so I apologize, but this is a Japanese spice blend. If you can't find it, you can add chili flakes if you like, or omit this. So I've got it here in a pretty bowl right now. Then we're going to add some reduced sodium soya sauce. You can add tamari if you are gluten-free. Then I've got my homemade parmesan, which I made in my pasta video. This is literally just half nutritional yeast and half cashews and some garlic powder that I've blended together. I'll put the instructions in the description below. This makes it lovely and crispy and cheesy and umami. So it takes like 2 minutes to make. I might have bits of cashew there, but just ignore them. Okay, and then we just mix it. Well, I'm going to use my hands. They are clean. Right, I'm just going to go wash my hands, and then we'll put this in the oven. We're going to put this in an oven at 200 Celsius for about 10 to 15 minutes until this broccoli is lovely and crisp. So that's done now. Our broccoli is lovely and charred, and we're just going to display this. So what I forgot to tell you is that if you have a nut allergy or taking this to work or school where you're not allowed nuts, then instead of adding cashews to the parmesan, add some pumpkin seeds or some hemp seeds instead. So guess what I'm going to say now? Let's display this. And there you have it, a restaurant quality meal packed with plant-based protein, fibre and anti-inflammatory compounds in less time than it takes to decide what to order for delivery. And a perfect weeknight meal when it's raining like this. The creamy umami sauce with that subtle kick from the gochujang will have you licking the bowl clean. If you're serious about adding more plant-based meals to your life without sacrificing flavour or spending hours in the kitchen, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. Drop a comment below with your favourite weeknight dinner hack, and I'll see you next time for another prescription for a delicious health. And there you have it, a restaurant quality meal packed with plant-based protein, fibre and anti-inflammatory. Oh, the rain. Okay. Oh, I put the sesame oil by mistake. And there you have it, a restaurant quality meal packed with plant-based protein, fibre and anti-inflammatory compounds in less time than it takes to order delivery. God. Can I camp out here till it starts?